What if every single company you've ever bought something from is fighting for the exact same thing right now without you even noticing? Your next $50. Instagram wants your attention. TikTok wants another scroll. Amazon wants another order. DoorDash wants another delivery. Spotify wants another subscription renewed without you thinking about it. Every notification, every ad, every influencer, every sale, they're all competing for exactly one thing. And most of us don't even notice we're standing in the middle of that competition every single day. I'm Vienna, like the city in Austria, not the sausage. I'm 15 years old. My mom and I have traveled to 20 countries across 5 continents since I was 5. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you what my own $50 a month has actually turned into, with the real math behind it, verified before it went into this script, and it's not a number you'd guess on the first try. None of those companies are evil, they're simply doing exactly what businesses are built to do: earn your attention and persuade you to buy. That's not a criticism, that's just their job. And most of them are incredibly good at it. But here's the question almost nobody asks. Who's fighting to make future you rich? Probably not enough people. So every dollar you spend is actually going through something like a job interview. It can work for today. It can work for future you. Most of our dollars only ever apply for the first job and never even get considered for the second one. Travel has taught me to question what's normal. Just because everyone around you spends every extra dollar doesn't mean that's the only path available to you. Around the world, people make completely different choices with money, time, and opportunity, and none of them think of themselves as unusual for it. They're just operating under different defaults than the ones we grew up with. Questioning those defaults is exactly what makes you intentional, whether you're traveling through an unfamiliar city or standing in a checkout line back home. So here's the question I actually want you to sit with for the rest of this video. Before you spend your next $50, ask yourself one question. Could this $50 work for me instead? That's not a guilt trip. Spending isn't wrong. Companies aren't evil for wanting your money, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying what you buy. But there's a difference between being a consumer and an owner. Consumers buy, owners build wealth. Consumers make companies rich. Owners actually become part of those companies, but in a completely real way, with the actual paperwork proving it. Think about a typical month. $50 on delivery, on a game, on clothes, on money runs you barely remember by the following week. None of those purchases are wrong on their own, but what if just one of those $50 purchases a month became an investment instead? Not all of them, not even most of them. Just one, repeated on purpose every single month without fail. There's a number coming later in this video that actually answers that question, and it surprised me even when I first calculated it. I didn't just talk about this idea, I actually tested it on myself. When I was 14, I started investing $50 a month. Most people would look at that number and think, that's not going to do anything, why even bother? So I asked a different question instead. What could this become? At 10.5% compounded monthly, $50 a month from age 14 to 65 becomes 1.1 million. That's not a typo, and it's not a rough guess. That's the real math, verified before it ever went into this video. 1 month's coffee run's worth of money left alone for decades quietly becomes over $1 million without you having to do anything else once it's set up. That number isn't magic, it's just what happens when money works instead of just moving from your account to somebody else's. Nobody sees the compounding happen, you just see the results. Decades later, and by then it looks impossible. Here's the part that actually changed how I think about spending, not just investing. Every $50 you spend is a vote for someone else's future. Every $50 you invest is a vote for your own. Amazon doesn't need your $50 to survive. Nike doesn't need it. DoorDash doesn't need it either. But your future absolutely does. That's the actual difference. It's not about which purchases are good or bad, it's about which future you're voting for with the money that's already sitting in your account. I'm not teaching investing in this video, I'm teaching ownership. That's a completely different identity than the one most 15-year-olds are handed by default. And it's a much cooler one, too. Consumers get talked about by companies. The world spends billions of dollars convincing you to spend. I only need a few minutes to make the opposite case. Not to stop spending, just to notice the choice you're actually making every single time you do. Because right now, most of us make that choice completely on autopilot. Future you is watching every $50 you spend right now, even though you can't see them yet. And they have absolutely no vote in today's decision. They just inherit every single one of them, good or bad, whether they like it or not. That's not fair to them, but it's not something you can undo later. The only leverage you actually have is right now, with whatever $50 is about to leave your account next. I'm not asking you to stop buying things you love. I'm asking you to notice that every purchase is also a decision about who gets richer because of it, a company or future you. Most people never even realize they're choosing every single time, dozens of times a week. Don't just buy the future, own a piece of it. That's the whole idea behind this video. And it's the one financial lesson I actually live by every single month, starting with $50. I barely notice leaving my account. I'm 15. Everything in this video is just my own opinion and experience. It's meant for inspiration and not expert advice. This video also isn't sponsored. Comment below one thing you spend $50 that could become an investment instead. Share this with a friend who you think needs to hear this. Subscribe to Wandering Vienna if you haven't yet. Hit the like button, it tells the algorithm you liked this content. I post content like this every single week, and I don't want you to miss what's coming. I'm Vienna, this is Wandering Vienna, and make sure to come back because there's always more to explore. Bye!